So let's do a quick update of the epilogue. Falcon propeller 2212, best quality, and the performance of this one is awesome. In Spain, in Germany, wherever you go, this propeller is awesome. Then, continuing in the front, DA4 from Dual Sky, XM6355DA25. This for me is the best motor Dual Sky has ever made, and super smooth, super powerful. The consume is awesome, especially with this guy over here, the Summit, especially made for pattern flight. It's incredibly good. The temperature, the performance, how smooth is everything. Yeah, super happy. Dual Sky batteries, of course. Power box, DC switch, double DC switch. This thing is awesome, easy. It's working super well, keeping the voltage, high voltage for my servos. The MKS, second airplane with the MKS servos, and yeah, I'm not missing, to be honest, the Futaba ones. Super happy with these servos, super happy. So yeah, same setup as the other epilogue, working fantastic, smoothly, and couldn't be happier. So, hello and welcome again to another video of the F3A Basics series. Today I have something very important for me, which are the dual rates and expos. I already have a video talking about the dual rates and expos in my channel. I will leave it in the description of this video, so you can have a look on the 10% I'm using with this transmitter, with the Futaba. So again, if you're using the same setup, it could be like a good starting point, or at least a reference. So in this video I will just show you how I set up my dual rates, but of course it's something that it takes a long time. We cannot fix it or set it up in one video, in one flight. It's something that I change every year from one schedule to another. I do very small adjustments just to feel comfortable. Here the word for me, the key word is comfortable. You have to feel comfortable with your airplane. So let's go. So you have to feel very comfortable with your airplane doing all these maneuvers, especially the ones that are in the schedule. But it's very important that you feel comfortable with your roll rate, to do the radiuses and everything, the stall turns, the rudder corrections, all these things. You need to feel comfortable with your airplane, and for that you need a lot of flights. But let me give you some small tips I use to set up these dual rates. The first one we are going to talk about is the roll rate, so your ailerons. So for the full movement, what I normally do is I go into a vertical line very slowly, very slowly, and then I check that I have enough movement to perform rolls. This demonstrates me that I have enough movement to fly very slow, and that I will never have problems of I don't have enough ailerons. Of course, you can set up your aileron rate to be like full movement and then have the same roll rate every time, but you never know. Sometimes you fly slower, faster, depending on the weather conditions you can do one thing or another. So I prefer always to have room. This is my full movement, so maybe it's quite fast but yes, as I'm flying quite slow, then I need more like deflection of my ailerons. So that's how I set up let's say the dual rate, the maximum movement of my ailerons. Then the expo. This is very important, that you play with your airplane, do slow rolls, that you integrate rolling circles, that you know how to mark, for example, these rebounds, ping 1, ping 2, ping, all these things, that you feel again comfortable using your stick, and that you are able to do all these things And this is where I set up my, look at the wind, if I put the airplane straight, look how it goes. I have quite a lot wind from the back. But again, yeah, I would say that go into a vertical, look if you have enough ailerons. I prefer to have room to go a little bit faster because you never know. And then for the expo, just play around with your airplane to the left, turn to the left, then turn to the right, and feel that you can continue the same rolling rate, doing whatever you want. That you can mark very well the points 1, 2, 3, but at the same time you can perform like very slow rolls and still feeling, you know, comfortable doing it. Yes. Then for elevator, it's very important 2 things. First of all, that a very good maneuver to test these things is like a regular square. And I normally check that I can do all these radiuses with the same amount of elevator, and they are constant, because this is very important in F3A. Go down, the same radius, and especially these ones. These ones for me are very important because you have to clack and mark a very straight line. You cannot go down, you cannot go up, and these are the maneuvers I normally check, like squares or all the recoveries from vertical lines to horizontal ones, how I feel with my elevator in positive and negative. Then again, how I adjust the expos, performing rolling circles, performing rolls, or for example, what I need to do to hold my inverted flight. This for me is critical, to adjust well the negative expo, the wind, to adjust very well the amount of elevator input you need to hold like inverted flight. Okay, so yeah, I also do like this, like rolling circles. It's very important here with these maneuvers. I can tell you that is where you can really adjust everything, your rudder setup, your elevator, everything needs to be perfect to do all these maneuvers. And then the rudder maybe it's the easiest, at least for me. This is how my father teach me, and now I feel very comfortable doing that. I always use the 100% of movement of my rudder, so I can perform like the stall turn without touching anything. I just go there, and once I'm going full movement, I have the full rudder to do the stall turn. So what I need to adjust normally is just the expos. And what's the expo I normally, what I'm looking for while adjusting my expo? That I can hold a knife edge, again, comfortable. So I'm here and I feel like very easy, like nothing. But at the same time, I have enough rudder to do all these maneuvers, and the expo is not super critical. It's not like super nervous, but I can do all these maneuvers, and especially during the rolls, I can adjust very well the amount of rudder I need. Of course, if you go very low on the expo using the 100% of the movement, your airplane will be super nervous, like doing all these corrections, it will be super nervous. So you have to add a little bit more expo. In the case you have a lot of movement and you cannot adjust these things, then you have too low expo, so you have to increase. The problem of that is that if you have too much expo, at some point you will feel like you don't have movement and then you have a lot. Well, this is something you have to adjust, and maybe don't use the 100% of the rudder, use a little bit less. For example, I think that with the epilogue, to be honest, I use 80% of the movement because it's too much. I mean, you can do, the stall turns are like a joke for him. It's like, yeah, you can hold it there and then now, wow, you see? This is one of the best things. The stall turns of this airplane is incredible. But yeah, look at the size of the rudder. So yeah, that's basically how I adjust the dual rates. And again, I think that it's super important. But remember that this is something you will have to adjust, especially for the schedule you are going to perform. One thing is to play around like I'm doing here, but another one is to do like all these maneuvers and feel comfortable doing them. So yeah, I would suggest that just as a starting point you can use this small or this little tricks, and yeah. Okay, time to land. It's getting windy, but nothing for the epilogue. Full brake and let's go land. I love this airplane. So, as I explained in the video of the dual rates, I normally have 3 conditions: normal flight, snap rolls and spins. So I continue doing that and it's working for me. I don't think it's a good idea to touch a lot of switches during the flight, so if you can find a configuration where you feel comfortable flying the whole time and doing all kind of maneuvers, from rolling circles to rolls to just straight passes on just throwing a good geometry, that's for me the best approach, just to keep it easy and find a good configuration where you feel comfortable. And that's basically it. That's what I normally use, and yeah, it's working fine. Remember that my dual rates will never be maybe good for you. You have to create your own dual rates and try and try and try until you find the best for you.